Hello, and welcome to your daily oracle reading for Monday, August 24th, 2020. I'm Linda the Lightworker. I'm a shamanic practitioner, and I make these videos so we all can stay on our purpose-driven path, living one day at a time, doing our best to say nice things to ourselves and to be our best friend, do nice things for ourselves. So if this is your first time here, thanks for stopping by. All that info about me is down below in the diddly-do box. All those YouTubey things, you know what to do. Like, share, subscribe. Window, I don't know what that means. LindaTheLightWorker.com is my website, or you can email me directly, LindaTheLightWorker@gmail.com, and I'll get back to you just as soon as I can. All right, let's jump into our cards. Today I'm working with this wonderful Gregory Scott Tarot deck. My words are all jumbled today. Goodness gracious. I love this deck. It's just newly released. Check it out. Order it if you want to learn how to read tarot. It's really a great deck to work with. I just think its symbols are pure and clean. All right, our first card today is the Four of Wands. Now, this is typically a celebration, a happiness card for sure. And don't get offended by this traditional sort of union. But creating everlasting happiness, as we do in a wedding situation. So the question is, who are you in this picture? Are you the bride? Are you the bridesmaid helping out? Are you the groom? What is your participation level? Maybe that's not even the groom. Maybe that's the groom's best friend. I mean, who knows what kind of happiness this lady has created for herself. But everlasting happiness often will come, well, I was going to say with a ceremony, right? To make that commitment to ourselves for this kind of eternal love. But okay, I'm listed. Spirit sometimes jumps in right when I'm about ready to say it. It's like, no. But this is about you creating your happiness. So it could be a fleeting moment of happiness, such as this great kiss. Like, let's say it wasn't her groom that she's kissing in this picture. Maybe that's her old love who showed up just to say, I release you, and gave her the best kiss of her life. Maybe that's the kiss she's hanging on to. Like, finding that moment that really gets you into that happiness place. And it doesn't have to be a romantic love, but it oftentimes, when we are in romantic love and when we are connecting with direct eye contact from another person, we can feel that love eternally. So being able to muster up that kind of happiness energy where you feel like you got butterflies in your stomach. So that's the invitation today. And it may be just simply calling on a memory that made you feel that way. Maybe your marriage was really crappy, but your wedding was fantastic and the best day of your life. So really holding on to that memory of where that happiness lies, of everyone getting together. Or maybe it was because you were the star of that show for one day. You're not feeling the star of your show yet. Stepping into that wedding story is the invitation. Now, those of you who are in really solid partnership, I know I have so many of you who are, really make today, it doesn't matter what day it is, celebrate today like your anniversary. Celebrate with your loved one so you're able to have that divine connection with each other. All right, our second card today is the Hangman. Now, what are these images? Oh, wow. Okay, obviously he's hanging upside down. I haven't seen all these cards yet. And when I throw them, I'm usually channeling is the word. I'm not really paying attention to these images. But look at this image. Like, it's like when this guy has been turned upside down on his head and looking at the world from a different point of view, all of these angelic forces come forward. This is where enlightenment lives. Enlightenment in the sense of getting rid of those old beliefs, Now listen, I know some of you are older and might not believe that this kind of romantic love is possible for you. Spirit's saying, turn that story upside down. There's some old wounds that need to be healed or simply released, or with his head in that head pointed to the ground, bury those thoughts in the earth. Just allow them to flow into the earth. Our Mother Earth can handle this thought that you have that you're ready to release. So surrendering that thought is very important. But the enlightenment comes. All right, those of you yoga driven, I always say when I see this card to practice the tree pose also. And that's when you're standing on one leg. Be sure and work both sides of your body to strengthen your balance so you're able to witness what you're thinking. Find out what's really happening at your core. You know, we tell a lot of stories to ourselves, a lot of false stories that we end up believing. So by going upside down, or perhaps taking an unpopular point of view, this is where you're going to find your enlightenment today. You will feel lighter because these angels, do you see those angels? They're just rushing right in to help you out. I'm hearing Archangel Michael is here for some of you, and somebody's looking for Gabriel right here. I could feel both of them. This is new for me. Listen, I never got into the archangels before I started doing these videos, and they started showing up. So Gabriel's going to be able to provide those messages, and Michael's going to really be able to hold you and help you to feel secure. So call on them for help. All right, our final tarot card today is the Five of Pentacles. And here we have someone who's feeling like, especially with everything I'm reading about happiness and perhaps this kind of romantic love, you are on the outside. You do not feel connected to that. You're feeling like, that's not my story. I wish I could get in there and play that game with others, but that's not my path. And look at her, she's hanging on. Do you see she's holding on to the wires, and it looks like barbed wire. These old stories are keeping you trapped and keeping you away from that which you desire. Perhaps the joyful playfulness of being a kid, just playing again. So the other thing I want to mention too with this Five of Pentacles, you know, the Mother Peace Tarot deck, her Five of Pentacles is a woman kneading dough, right? So these pentacles often represent those earthly possessions. The pentacles are also of the earth signs, right? And we know what those are. Those are Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. So this could be an old belief that's really ready to go. Really ready. Look at how tightly she's holding on to that wire, that barbed wire. She is trapped by that story. That's what the Hangman's for. It's about turning that story upside down, changing it, allowing angelic forces to come in to help guide you, and releasing this old exclusion story. That's what I'm hearing. All right, our final card today comes from the wonderful Colette Baron-Reid and the Wisdom of the Oracle. You guys know how much I love this deck. Info in the doobly-doo box. That's for Lisa. All right, here we have, and we've seen this card before, number 37, the never-ending story. Right? That never-ending story. This is why she is feeling on the outside. It is because of this story. It's that old story. You know, we can work our program. We can work with therapists. We can do all that power journal writing. We can do the EFT tapping. We can do so many different tools. EMDR, right? Looking at those flashing lights and reprogramming our brain. We can do all these different things. And yet, if we jump back into that same story, that never-ending story, typically a lack story, a lack of love story, if we jump back in there, then we're never going to get what we want. because it's what we tell ourselves. So the invitation today is to really ask yourself, why am I feeling on the outside? Why do I feel that I'm on the outside of the world looking in? Why don't I feel I'm in the world? And I promise you, the most common response is fear, and fear is opposite of love. Love always conquers fear. So the invitation is to go really deep into your love, allowing yourself to see yourself differently as loved and cherished. That kind of love that you want. I know that's what you want. I don't know how I know, I just know. But you can change that story. I know you can. All right, my dear, that's our reading for today. If you are feeling really challenged with that story that keeps coming up, a great exercise to try, and it's a handwriting exercise. It's for you to pretend that you are a news reporter who's just arrived on the scene. And so it's using your imagination and you being inquiry, asking questions, having a dialogue with this one who feels this way. So interview that person and do it in your handwriting. I often suggest doing this when we're doing dialoguing or tapping into that energy that is something that we just can't move on ourselves. And let's say you are doing it, you've showed up like the reporter and you've come to ask questions. Use your opposite hand to write the responses so that you're able to tap in emotionally more clearly. Typically it's with the left hand if you're right-handed, or vice versa, and really getting into the meat of that dialogue of why this false belief keeps presenting itself. Because I know some of you, you're like, I'm never going to heal from this. And even saying that, even saying and acknowledging my heart is so broken it will never heal, is a self-fulfilling prophecy. So it's listening to those words. So do your best to go easy with yourself. And when that little me shows up who's not feeling loved, really do your best to love that person who was so injured by whatever event that happened. Remember, you're not who you were in your past anymore, and you've taken that old part of that story with you and you're hanging on to it. So it's okay to let it go, but let it go with love, and let it go with wisdom, and let it go with embracing it and bringing it as much peace as possible before you release it. Sounds like a little bit of work today, but you know what? I know you can do it, because happiness and your personal happiness is the goal, and you deserve it. All right, little tomato, that's our reading for today. If you're one of my new subscribers, thank you so much for being here. I love your comments. Everything you guys have been saying lately have been so wonderful and so encouraging. I really just appreciate you being here. We're growing this little channel. We're almost at 250 subscribers, and soon we'll be at 300. Won't that be fun? I'm so glad you're here. And if no one's told you today, I love you. And I hope you love you too. That's the most important love. All right, my dear. I look forward to seeing you next time.